Hello and welcome. I know it's been quite a while since my last update, but I'm excited to announce that the game that I've been working on, which is called Algomancy, is now in alpha. So what that means is all of the factions, all of the card designs have been preliminarily finished. This is still playtest art, the cards are still playtest names, so the layouts of things are still going to be updated, and the individual cards themselves, like, we're in the fine-tuning stage now, so we're like balancing things and changing stuff. So the game's going to change still from here, but the outline of the game is there. So we have the core rules outlined. We have all of the cards and the factions and the themes laid out. But just, the art's going to change and the individual cards are going to be balanced going from there. So it's a pretty exciting time. To celebrate that, I made this video. I'm basically playing a game with a completely new player in my Discord, helping them learn the game. So I think it's a good tutorial because it's introductory, so it shows you how the game works as I'm like explaining it to someone, but then also you actually get to see gameplay. So I think that I'm going to start here, and then if people are interested, I'll be posting more like high-level gameplay. If there's going to be a bunch of events in my Discord, so we're having a tournament with prizes this weekend. We have a card design contest next weekend. We have a constructed tournament the following weekend. And then around Christmas time, actually, we're going to be in beta, and we're going to have a beta launch tournament too. So there's events scheduled most weekends or every other weekend from here until the release of the game, which is scheduled in like early February or late February, early March time right now, depending on how playtesting goes. So if you want to just look through the cards, calebgannon.com/algomancy cards. There's a bunch of articles on here too. If you go to calebgannon.com, click Algomancy. There's a whole article on the rules of Algomancy and all the things. Here's the post about Algomancy being in alpha. So if you want to read all that, you can. Otherwise, just enjoy the gameplay and let me know your thoughts. And if you want to participate in any of this, hop into the Discord. The link's in the description. And you can play games. Playtesting is free for anybody. So if you're interested, I'll see you there. Otherwise, enjoy the game.
You haven't already.
Okay, I started recording. What's your name, or what should I...
You can use my pseudonym, which I use online, at my Lemon Lime.
Okay, Lemon. Can I just call you Lemon Lime, I guess? Or
You can call me Lemon.
okay, Lemon works too. So I'm just going through teaching Lemon how to play Algomancy. Have you played this game at all, or like looked at the rules at all, or?
I watched one of your drafts, the like first playtesting one that went live on your channel.
Okay.
I watched that. Did not gather a whole lot on how to actually play the game, but saw it was played and thought it was really cool.
Okay, that makes sense. So hopefully this video will be helpful for people learning how to play. So should I do a rundown of the basics of the game?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Algomancy is a live drafted game. I'm just gonna let's get the cards in place so we can mime through it, and then I'll talk through it. It's easier for me to like start. So the first step of starting up the game is you pick which colors or factions you want to play with. With
Gotcha.
You being new to the game, I would recommend probably sticking to like earth, wood, or fire.
Let's go with wood.
Okay. And I think we probably can do 2 colors. So if you want another earth or fire.
I'll do wood and earth.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, so we'll just start putting them together. For now, I'm just going to ignore the multicolored cards, but they're in this pile.
I just smack them together?
Yeah. So you just take them, shuffle them. Oh, I can do this. Hang on. Oh, gosh. The interface is rough sometimes. Okay, so we flip it over. So this is the draft deck. So anything that refers to the deck in this version of the game will refer to this. And I'll just put it over here.
Okay.
To start the game off, you're going to take 10 cards.
10?
Yep. So if you right click, click take.
Draw 10.
Oh, that also works, I guess. You have 10 cards in hand now.
Oh, should I have put them down and not in my hand?
It's just easier. So then you have them here, so you can like do stuff with them. But you can drop them from your hand if you want to.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's fine.
This got messed up real fast.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, I got all my cards.
Okay, awesome. So this is a pack of 10. To start the game, so each person will have their own pack of 10 cards, and you are playing the red faction, or the red side of the field. So you'll put your pack in the red draft zone.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just trying to stack them all.
Oh, you don't have to stack them. It's actually easier if you
Okay.
don't. And if you want to like sort them, if you drag them into your hand but don't release, and then drop them down, it like cleans them up. So like, if I take these, put them in my hand, it makes them all nice for you.
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, so we can do this part face up, and then we can actually start face down, I guess. So just leave it in your red area for now. You also start the game with 6 cards in hand, or technically you start with 4 in hand, and then you draw 2 at the beginning of the game. So
Okay,
I'll deal you 4, and then I'll deal you 2 more.
appreciate it.
And if you think of how you would be drafting this in person, it's really hard to have like a hand of cards separate from the draft pack. So
Yeah.
in paper or even in the game, you can just put all of your cards in hand into your pack. We just kind of lay it out like this to play online, but you can imagine if you're playing in paper, you would just have these in your hand and you're looking at them.
Okay. So you'd have your draft pack, you start the game with 4, and then you draw 2 at the start.
Yes. So you should have like 16 in total here.
5, 10, 15, 16.
Okay.
Yep.
So then you begin the drafting step. So drafting in Algomancy is very, I guess, forgiving or flexible, where every turn basically your hand and the pack become the same, and then you can kind of freely exchange cards in hand with cards in the pack during the drafting step.
Okay.
And you don't have to keep track of anything because the math works out so that you're always going to leave 10 cards left in the pack. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, you can either remember how many cards you started with in hand, or you can just draft until there's 10 left in the pack, and either way works.
Gotcha. So you have 6 in your hand because you start with 4, you drop 2, and then you drop those along with your 10 pack, and then you pull 6 cards until there's 10 left in the pack.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's later in the game and you have less than 6 cards, then you would pull like 4 cards until there's 10 in the pack, and so on. But there's always going to be 10 in the pack to start.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is kind of like a warm up, so it doesn't really matter what you take. But we'll just go through and take like 6 cards from here. I'll just take these, I guess. I don't know.
Just take random ones?
Yeah, for now we could just walk through it.
Okay. Seems pretty good.
And I'll try and get closer so people can read some of these cards I have. If you hit spacebar on the cards, they show up bigger as well.
Oh, I've just been double clicking on them. I don't know if you can hear me clicking furiously.
Just a little bit. It's fine though.
Sorry. If you want, I can turn down my mic.
Oh, I have settings enabled for you, I think. So it basically normalizes our audio. I hope. You can keep it. It's good where it is.
Okay, I've grabbed 5. This one, 6.
Okay, cool.
And do we share the same deck?
Yeah. So the draft deck is going to be constant throughout the whole thing. So you don't really like own a deck in this game. You're just like live drafting all of your cards, and then you'll pass them to each other each turn.
Gotcha. And we draw from the same deck, draft from the same deck, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So there's not ever going to be a scenario where like I have rock and fire and you have plants and artifacts or whatever.
You can do that, especially like constructed, I think is more for that. But there's just a bunch of different ways to play the game. So you can play it where like you do like a sealed type thing where each player has their own packs that you draft from. Constructed, you bring your own deck and you draft from your own deck.
Okay.
You can do team games where your whole team brings a deck that you collectively built, and then your team drafts from that deck just amongst two players. So
okay,
it's very flexible, but the default game mode is just like a simple draft.
gotcha. So I've drafted my 6 cards out of the 16 that we started with. Well, 10 plus 4 plus 2.
Yeah.
What do I do with these remaining 10?
Yeah. So for the people here, so you see the thing that says red draft zone?
Yes.
So during the game, we would normally be doing this in our own draft zone, so it's hidden. So if you can see the blue cards right now. But if I put them into the blue draft zone, they're hidden from you now.
They're gone.
So basically, we would be doing this in the hidden zone. Then you would pick them all up and hit F while you're dragging them to flip them over.
Okay.
And then you just put them somewhere next to my draft zone. So I'd put them like by this green thing over here.
Gotcha.
So in paper, you would like stack them up in a pack and you would just pass them kind of how you would like doing Magic
Yeah,
drafts.
and you pass them to the left. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but we just have to spread them out for the sake of the game.
Okay.
So that would be the first drafting step. The turn order of the game is draw, draft. Then there's like a small resources step. I put these here just to make it easier for the first turn where you basically just get 2 resources for free. There are these little like, you may exchange this for another resource after the draft.
Okay.
So you can trade them for whatever you want. In Algomancy, you can play 2 resources worth of mana every turn.
So can you explain to me how the resources work? Like, how do I cast a spell?
Yeah, so let's go with... I'll use Reality Bender and Spike as 2 examples, and I'll get... we're playing with wood and earth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still working out how to like visualize the mana, but for now we're just using cards because it's the most simple.
Okay.
I guess I'll flip them so you can read them. And I'll just rotate my camera.
Gotcha. Okay.
So each card has a cost. The cost is what's inside of the white hexagon. So Reality Bender costs 2, Spike costs 1, and then the resource symbols next to it is just a threshold requirement. So it's different in Magic in that in this case you can cast this card as long as you've met the threshold requirement. So
Gotcha.
if you have a single earth, you can play Reality Bender. So let's say you had like 1 earth and 2 wood resources. You could play Reality Bender using just the wood resources. And right now we're using flipping them over to denote when they've been used.
Okay.
So you could play this using these 2. It doesn't really matter which resources you tap or expend, as long as you have this earth. And then each of these resources basically counts towards 1 of your cost.
Okay. So to put it into Magic terms, it's like everything is generic mana, but you need a certain type of mana in order to even cast a spell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like everything is a reflecting pool basic land, I think, is the way to think of it. I don't know if that helps at all.
Not really, but I'll take your word for it.
So, so we could cast Reality Bender with this mana setup because we have an earth, but we could not cast Spike because you need double earth.
Gotcha, okay.
And then doesn't like
first... How do we get resources?
Yeah, so the first turn you just get them for free basically by trading in these 2 cards that I've given you that say you may exchange this for another resource. To simplify the first turn. After that, you essentially like remove cards in your hand from the game to get a resource.
Okay, so my first turn I'm going to get 2 plants.
Okay. And then I'll get... yeah, so we still kind of took cards at random, but that's, I guess, okay for demonstration for now. So my first turn, I'll get 2 earth, I guess, for the sake of it.
Sweet.
And I'll put these back over here.
Invigorating gameplay. And then do I keep these forever, or are they one-time use?
So they stay in play forever, so you just have them.
Is there like a refresh? Because you said like we flip them to see that they've been used. Do they refresh
Yes.
at a certain time?
Yeah, they refresh at the beginning of every turn, which is the draft.
Okay.
So basically, before you start the draft, you would refresh all of your resources.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the turn order is, it's a bit different than most games. It's draw, draft, resources. So you play resources and refresh them, I guess, during that stage. Then combat, then main phase. So
Okay.
combat happens first. The first turn, you're not going to have anything in play, so combat doesn't really happen on the first turn.
Gotcha.
And then in 1v1 gameplay, you technically take your turns at the same time, but you can think of it if you're playing in paper. Your opponent's going to see what you're doing, so there's like this incentive to like wait for your opponent to make a move if you're doing it at the same time. So we have this thing called initiative, which is denoted by this green token. It's kind of basically who has to act first in each of these situations. So your turns are still essentially simultaneous, but someone has to go first. So normally you would do this with a die roll. So we can roll a dice here. 6 and 3. So it's good, I guess I have initiative first. So the player with initiative during their main phase plays stuff first, and then during combat they declare their attacks first. Or in team games, the team with initiative would do all of these things first. So if there's, because Algomancy is kind of inherently a multiplayer game, if you had 3 people on your team, your whole team would take your turn at the same time.
Simultaneously, yeah.
Okay. So during my main phase, I'm going to play Spike. Because I have 2 Earth, I can play him, and then I'll play Echo of Life. I can play him as well.
Okay, so you have 2 Earth, but he only costs 1. This one only requires you to have 1 Earth, but it also costs 1.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Then I'll take my turn, and then you can explain what the cards have done.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we can honestly just walk through the game with our randomly drafted cards. It might be easier for demonstration. Could be a good beginner game.
I'm going to figuratively tap out for my Moosh.
Moosh. I love Moosh.
Master Forager.
Okay.
He's a cutie.
Yeah. He looks like he's making a pizza to me.
A little bit.
Okay. So that would be 1 turn cycle. Do you want me to explain the creatures, or do you want to go through again and explain them?
Explain the creatures.
Sure.
Let's start with your guys.
Okay, so my dudes, creatures have an attribute or a type line. So I guess we'll start with Echo of Life. So Echo of Life, the type line is above the title. So this is just a crystal. It's kind of like in Magic how creatures have like card types.
Gotcha. So like crystal is the equivalent of a wizard in Magic.
Yeah. And right now all the card types are temporary. They're just for like sorting. So anything that's in like the crystal faction is just a crystal. But I'll add more like flavorful terms later on. So the type line is there, but then also card attributes. So I guess I have ranged, which is similar to like reach plus first strike in Magic. So card attributes are anything that affect how creatures engage in combat. Things like trample, flying in Magic would be attributes of creatures in this game. So Spike has ranged, and that shows up in his type line as like a bolded attribute. And then for the first set, I have reminder text of how it works. Ranged is essentially first strike and reach in 1 card, as far as like the Magic terms.
Okay.
So any modifiers will show up there. I have another one that'll probably be useful to look at, which is like spells. So spells actually say the word spell on them. And then quick. The timing of spells or any cards in this game is independent of their type. So in Magic, you have like instant and sorcery, and instants are played anytime. In this game, everything is sorcery by default, and then quick is like you can play this in combat. It's kind of like instant speed in Magic.
Okay, seems pretty good.
Yeah, so like a quick creature is kind of like giving the creature flash. Um,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so basically timing is separated from the card types. Do you want to get into Augment now or later? I guess you don't even maybe know what that is.
Is it important at this stage in the game?
You can play. I recommend most people when they start playing to ignore Augment and Graft. And Augment and Graft are these little plus symbols you see in the cards, and then the like, almost like the recycling type hexagon symbol and Plague Spreader.
Okay.
Those basically determine the rules for how you can combine cards together to make like bigger effects, but it's not necessary for beginner games.
Kind of like a mutate sort of deal.
Yeah, Augment's very similar to mutate. I can just talk through it, I guess, if we want to play with it. So basically the way it works is...
Let's try one game without it, according to your advice.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Wait, that card was... You played that card before.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what's up with Moosh? It says it's a 2/1. What does that mean? Is that just like magic typing?
Yeah, so it's very similar to magic. It's I think we're still working on it. It's like attack and health, or I think I'm going with might and mass for now, but it's basically power and toughness in terms of magic. So the way creatures have stats is the same. How they engage in combat is slightly different. But yeah, this is very similar to like a 2/1 in magic, or a lot of other TCGs as well.
Gotcha. And it says when the first enemy creature dies in this region. What is a region?
Yeah, so a region, the game is split up into different regions. I've done it here with colors, basically. So there's the red region and the blue region. And essentially each player exists in their own region in space. You can think of it like you're in a kingdom, and then your opponent is like somewhere pretty far away in their own region in space. So we're in this red zone right now. Basically, like, Moosh is here by your resources and by you. And that's like really far away from all the creatures that I have in my blue base over here.
Okay.
And
Doesn't seem super helpful.
The way this game works is essentially anything that happens or exists in one region is completely independent from anything that's happening in another region.
So, like, if a bird flaps its wings in Norway, a Texan isn't going to hear about it, sort of deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cool.
I'll try and find an example card. This is a good example here. So Envoy of Lightning says, whenever you cast a spell, you may put a counter on target creature. If you have an Envoy of Lightning in the red region, and you're casting a spell in the blue region, you won't get any of this effect.
Gotcha. So, can I cast Moosh in the blue region?
No. So all of the stuff you play during your main phase enters in your region. So you're the red player. It's just visual. You can name your domain whatever you want to name it. But for now, we'll just say you're the red player. So everything you play is in your base. Everything I play is in my base. Combat is essentially how we interact with each other.
Okay.
Which we'll get to in a second. So I'll keep this around for demonstrative purposes then, because I think it's a good example of what you can and can't do.
Okay. So then I guess besides all of that, besides combat, of course, we did our first main phase. We cast our spells. We'd go to the second round here, right?
Yep. So at the start of each turn, you draw 2 cards. I'll just deal 2 of both of us.
Sweet.
You
didn't look at my cards when you were dealing, did you?
And then you'll take your pack. We can do these in secret if you want to. So you would put them into your draft zone.
So what's the point of doing these in secret if you know what the cards are and I know what the cards are?
Because I don't know what you're taking.
Oh, okay.
And it also, like it would be hard to do it publicly in paper. I guess you could lay them out like this in paper, but the way I imagine or have been playing is like you just have these cards in your hand and you're like, kind of how you drafted Magic, right? You look at the pack, you take a couple, and then you pass it.
Gotcha. So How many are we taking from this pack?
It depends on how many you had in hand. And if you don't remember, you just draft until there's 10 cards left in the pack.
Oh yeah, and that's right. I can swap cards from my hand freely.
Yeah,
So, how would I go about getting a resource this turn? Because I don't have those expenditure tokens anymore.
correct. So basically, you remove a card from the pack to get a resource. Or more specifically, you remove a card from your hand. But because your hand and the pack are essentially the same thing during the draft, you can use this time to like hate draft something. So if you see that I'm in Earth, you can like draft an Earth card, and then after the draft, remove it from your hand and trade it for a resource, essentially.
Okay.
And when you're removing it from hand, it's called deleting. You basically just put it on the bottom of the draft deck, or remove it from the game. It's gone.
That seems really good if I can get that to work.
There's a lot of really good stuff in this game. I know what I'm doing, I think. This
I
one.
have no clue. I gotta look at all these cards.
Yeah,
It's
that
so
is
pretty.
It is overwhelming a bit, I think, to begin with. When I really teach new players, I'm gonna do like a constructed mode where you basically have your deck. So like you would just draw from the red deck, and I would just draw from the green deck. You wouldn't have to draft them, just to make it a little simpler. But
Gotcha.
I think
I forgot that I can just put my cards down here.
I guess this is what I'm doing here, and I'm gonna delete this card. So for those watching, I'm taking this card into my hand. The pack is down to 10 cards. And then after the draft, I'm going to get rid of this card in order to get a resource. So I've done drafting. I guess I can just lay out my cards so people can read them. I think that's easier. So I'm showing my hand, but that's okay.
I'm not looking, trust me. I've got too many things to look at over here.
Yeah, I totally get it. So I'll just kind of talk through why I took this. It doesn't bother you if I talk while you're trying to draft, does it?
No, I'm very good at selectively listening to only the things that are important.
Okay, cool. So I'll just try and explain like kind of the synergies of what the Earth faction is trying to doing. Earth is it's doing a lot of things, but one is toughness matters, or mass is what toughness is called in this game. So something like Hobbled Woofer, whenever the second creature with greater mass than might enters play, each combat you draw a card. I need to update this to say each turn instead of each combat.
Really quick question.
Sure.
How many cards can I get rid of for resources?
You can trade up to 2 each turn.
Cool.
Actually, technically you can trade as many as you want, but you can only play 2 mana worth of resources each turn. So that would mean...
so I can only add 2 lands to my land base a turn, but I can get as many as I want.
Yes. It's cool. I haven't found any reason why you would want to take more than 2 currently, but if I play something that's like, you can play an extra resource in a turn, then you could take 3 and play all 3 or something like that. And the reason why it's 2 mana worth is we have this colorless resource I just put next to Moosh.
Nice.
So this adds 2 towards the cost, but it doesn't give you any of your threshold requirements.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you can take that anytime like you would take.
But I can still get my threshold things, right?
So you can either take basically 2 threshold cards or 1 of these, but you can't play like 4 in one turn. Like you can't play a 2, a fire, and a water. You could play fire and water or a 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Basically, every single time you take the 2 generic resource, you're drawing a card. Is the way it works out.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've got some cool stuff here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, shit. Took one too many.
And you got to keep one
They're all
to.
so cool.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like I want everything.
But I want all of them.
Yeah. And you have to pick some to get rid of for resources too.
Oh yeah, I've already got my resources picked out. I just
Okay.
think I can keep this one down for now. Yeah. Here you go. They look all messy, and I'm sorry about that, but not sorry enough to fix it.
No problem. So we refresh our resources, which you've already done.
There should be 10 in the pack, right?
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
There's
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You gave me 11.
Oh, how did I do that?
I don't know.
I have 6 cards in my hand.
You started this turn with 7, I think.
Oh yeah, because we drew 2, and I only played 1. Got it.
Yeah.
Sweet, so I can do all of the things and have my cake too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love this getting to do all of the things thing.
Yes.
And then I'm going to discard this guy and this guy for a plant and a rock.
So it's not discarding. They just are completely removed from the game.
Is there a difference?
Yeah. So discard, you can interact with stuff in your discard, whereas this is like they're just gone.
Okay. Well.
So I'm getting rid of pack later.
Just rip them in half. We don't need them anymore.
I'm taking just a generic 2 resource here. I had too many things that I wanted to do. And initiative trades turn. So you have initiative now.
Okay, so I have the initiative, so I'm going to...
And we actually have combat before main phase.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So let's go to combat.
Yeah. So
tell me how this is working.
Yep.
I'm all the way in Colorado, and you're all the way in Japan. How does this combat work?
Yes. So you can choose which creatures you would like to attack with, if any.
So what does doing that do?
So if you were to attack with Moosh, you would put it into my region. We've been putting them sideways to denote they're attacking, but there's no like tapping in this game, so you don't have to. It just makes it visually easier for now. And basically, by attacking me, you've entered my region and can interact with my creatures, and I can interact with any creatures that you brought into this zone. So, for example, I have this card, Fight, which is basically 2 target creatures deal combat damage to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't play that on Moosh while it was over here, but if you attack me, then it's in my region, so I can...
But I brought my dude from Colorado, and now he's in Japan, getting off the ship, coming up on land.
Yes.
Moosh is going to serve you a nice hot slice of whoop, can.
Exactly. So, yeah, if you were to attack, that's how that would go down. And you can interact. The way priority works is you declare attackers, then there's a priority step in the region, or the team with initiative. So this is 1v1, but in multiplayer, the whole team would declare attacks at once. And then in each of those regions, there would be a priority step where you get priority first. So if you wanted to like attack me and kill my stuff, like you would attack me and then play a spell or an ability on one of my dudes. Then the stack works very similar to Magic. So like you play a spell and then I get a chance to react. Things like that. And then
so how do we determine blockers? Do I get to choose which creatures I'm attacking, or do I just attack you and then you block?
Yes, so you attack me and then I block. I'm going to give you some pretend creatures for demonstration right now.
Okay. I've got a Gromlin. Oh, wow. He looks nasty.
Yeah, so you have a Grom and a Flying Dragon.
Friendly dragon.
when creatures enter combats, they enter in a formation. So yeah, Moosh by itself isn't very helpful for that. So I'm giving you more. Basically, in a formation, left, right, up, down adjacency matters.
Okay.
So the simplest one is you just attack in a line, and it doesn't exactly matter where they are. But you can have things be front and back adjacent.
So then you'd have to attack the one in front before you attack the one in behind.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let me come up with a good. So if you had like Morung, so this dude, he's a 1/5. If you put him in front of Moosh Master Forager and you attacked, they would have to do the way they receive combat damage is the front one receives damage, and then once that one has died, the back one receives damage. So it's kind of
Okay.
like a shield in a sense,
Gotcha.
protecting
Okay.
the dude.
That's nice.
Yeah, it lets you attack and essentially like protect your guys. But then
Pretty good against Spike.
the defender can do the same thing. So if I had a Morung as well, or I guess if you have Morung and then I have something like this.
Or even you have a good example right now of just putting Spike in front.
Yes. Yeah, then the unit has first strike essentially. So
Okay.
things can get a little complicated with that. And then this is why creatures have attributes, because if you have this friendly dragon who has flying, creatures in vertical columns share all of their attributes with each other.
Okay. So then Moosh would also have flying.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's flying's like a lot better in this game than it is in Magic, because if you have like a 0/1 flyer, you can kind of just automatically piggyback like a huge creature with you.
Oh, yeah.
And you can get, and it's kind of stacked, so you can like share multiple different attributes. You know, if you have like flying ranged, then you have like flying first strike. So like if you have Spike plus friendly dragon in a vertical formation, it's pretty hard to get through. Things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, now that I've got a better grasp on how combat works, let's get these guys out of here.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm going to be taking my dude over to Japan.
Yeah. Because
that would
Spike has ranged.
Because Spike has first strike.
Yes.
And Moosh is not prepared. He's a soft boy, soft squishy boy.
Okay. So in that case, I will attack you. So the way priority works is the initiative team gets to declare attacks. Then the non-initiative team gets to declare attacks. And for example, if you had attacked me with Moosh, I could still attack you after that process. So I could then attack you.
Gotcha. Okay. So if I had a chosen to attack you, then you can take your force in like a counter attack, and then we would deal the damage to each other simultaneously. And I see way over here we've got 30 on our life counters. Is that correct? Okay. So we start with 30.
Yeah. I think of all the things in the game, life total is most likely to change as we like be testing more. But so far 30 has felt pretty good.
Cool. Well, I'm still good with my decisions.
Okay. I'm going to attack you like this. Mostly, well, I'll do it like this. Mostly for the demonstration that creatures share attributes. So even though Spike is in the back.
Echo of Life does have ranged.
Yes. And specifically Echo of Life, even if they were sideways, would also have ranged because of its ability.
Oh, cool. This creature has all attributes of allied adjacent creatures. Nice.
So
you got 2 ranged dudes. So you coming in sideways or you coming in stacked up?
I'll come in stacked up. I think this is the safest.
What do you think? What could I possibly do to you?
Yeah. So here's where now we can play instants to interact with each other because we're in the same region. You have a creature here. So I'm just going to do this for the sake of the game. I'm going to play fight.
I'm going to tap my mountain to naturally camouflage my moosh.
Okay. So this is, I'm going to roll this up to demonstrate the stack, I guess.
Okay.
So I've played fight targeting the moosh. You've played Natural Camouflage, which says counter all spells and abilities targeting an allied spell, creature, or player. So this counters fight, and they both go to our discards.
Sweet. That was successful.
Yeah. And then...
So now if I let this come through, am I only taking 1 damage from the Echo Life because they're stacked up, or am I taking a combined 3?
You're taking a combined 3. So the way they do combat damage is they do damage equal to their combined power to anything in front of them. So if you had Moosh, and I'll just give you Bellowing Boulder as an example. I'll do it like this. My team has 3 total power, so it would do 3 damage to your Bellowing Boulder. Your team has 5 total power, so it would do 5 damage to me. 2 of that would go to Echo of Life, and then the remaining 3 would go to Spike, and they would both die.
Okay. Gotcha.
So if you don't block, you'll take 3 total damage.
I will take 3 total damage. Now, Moosh has this wonderful, wonderful ability on it where when the first enemy creature dies in this region, I get to create a 2/2 creature token.
Mm-hmm.
Does that include if Moosh dies in the same combat? Because I imagine combat simultaneous. Oh, wait, no, that wouldn't because you have first strike.
If I did not have first strike, then it would work. Like if I just attacked with Ember of Life and you blocked, then Moosh would die at the same time as this dies. Okay. Moosh would see it trigger and you would get a 2/2.
So, here, stack up your dudes. I'm ready to do this combat.
Okay.
So I am going to block with Moosh, and then I'm going to cast my Phytochemical Protection until the end of
really
combat.
Good here.
Yeah, you walked right into my photochemical pizza plant trap.
Okay. So, until the end of combat, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target creature. Put a counter on it for each damage prevented this way.
Moosh.
So, yeah, you cast that targeting Moosh. This is, I guess, a good example of the difference in the resource systems of this game, where it's triple green but only costs 2 mana.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is correct.
So I would be doing 3 damage to Moosh.
But instead...
you get 3 counters.
Yeah, let's just pop this up to 3.
And because I have first strike or ranged, I do that first. And then Moosh gets to do 5 damage total to all of my guys. And you kill both of my dudes.
And is it just the first time? The first enemy. So I get 1 2/2 plant.
Yes.
Blowout.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. But that's okay.
I saw that card in the draft pack and I was like, ooh, I wonder how this works.
I love this card. It leads to some insane blowouts.
Yeah, that was a pretty good turn. And now we go to our main phase, right?
Yes. There is a post-combat, so like if I had a creature that was still alive, after damage, you have a little like chance to do any like if you wanted to kill my creature after damage, you could.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, all the creatures go back to their main base. So, they buy the ticket back to Japan.
It's stuck.
Yeah, but mine are dead, so they're never going home.
Okay.
And you have initiative, so if you have any things to do post-combat, you can.
I'm going to cast the Growing Thing.
Ooh, I love Growing Thing.
It seems pretty good.
It's really good.
For now, it's not. But later,
it will be. I'm going to play a Hobbled Woofer. This card is currently misworded. It should say each turn, not each combat. But basically, whenever the second creature with greater mass than might, or in terms of magic, power than toughness, or toughness than power, I draw a card. So
whenever a big booty enters the battlefield for the second time, draw a card.
Yes.
So it doesn't need to happen once. It needs to happen twice.
Yes.
Okay.
And then 2 big booties.
Big booties. And then that's the turn because that was our main phase. So we refresh.
Mm-hmm.
We pull our draft packs.
Deal 2 to everybody.
We draw 2 cards. And I'll see you at the end of the next draft phase.
All right, sounds good.
Where I read all of these cards.
I'm actually gonna pause the recording here, I think, and then we can just come back when we're done drafting. Speed it up a bit. Explain. We were just talking during the draft about infinite combos and like the strength of these cards versus magic cards. Because this game is inherently like a multiplayer centric game, as far as I can do my best job of, there will be no infinite combos in the game. That way, you don't just like die to someone because they comboed off like across the table. So that like there's always a fair chance. Things can get really big though. That can definitely happen.
I have a 25-25 and you will die soon.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. What am I doing here?
Just literally no idea. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm looking at all these things and I'm like, huh. This seems good. That does not seem good. This seems good.
That does not seem good.
Riveting commentary.
Yeah, this is fine, this is bad. What am I doing? I kind of want to do this. That's 8.
Now, I'm sure you saw this card. And this feels like another thing I've seen.
Wait, where did my maroon go?
Huh?
Oh, I just had a card in hand that I just got rid of.
Oh no, you used it for demonstration purposes, and I think I put it off to the side.
Yeah, okay, that makes. I was like, why is my hand so small? That makes more sense. Okay, I'm feeling better right now.
So, Growing Thing. Quick question about him.
Mm-hmm.
Is Growing Thing just by himself, or is there a way to like slap him onto another thing? Because I see that little plus.
Yes. So that would be the augment mechanic. Basically what that is, again, I kind of recommend not doing it for new players, but you seem like you've got it. So I think anyone who comes from like a TCG background will be able to get this pretty quick. Basically, you can pay this card's cost from hand or from the discard to add whatever line of text is in that paragraph to another card. So Growing Thing has that ability on its own.
Oh, that would have been so good to put on Moosh.
Yeah. You could put it on
Current
a
strategy,
token.
make the biggest pizza boy. Oh.
You could put it on a token. You could do whatever. You could do it from hand, but it's always underneath. So the way the cards are laid out, you can lay it out like this. So you would have like a 2/2 token with the added type line or text when this enters play. Put a counter on this creature. The corollary, if you're doing that, anything that's been modified, which is graft, which you haven't heard yet, and augment, which is this, the whole thing gets deleted if it would die. You can't like infinitely modify things from your discard. So, like right now, if Growing Thing dies, it goes to your discard, and then you could re-augment this ability onto something else. But then,
So I can cast augments from the graveyard.
yes.
Oh.
It's pretty spicy. You can build up some huge nonsense cards here. But then, like, if you put Growing Thing on Moosh, and Moosh were to die, both of these cards would get deleted. Or in Magic context, they're like exiled, but it's like more than exile because you can't really get them back ever.
And we need 10 cards in the pack, right?
Yes.
Oh man.
So I have 11, and this is the last time we're going to see these packs. We're going to get new packs after this.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. In 2-player, you have to trade packs off a lot just because drafting with 2 people is kind of hard. Because the packs stay constant in size, if you have like 6 or 8 people in the game, you don't really need to get new packs ever because everyone's like changing cards from hand the whole time. So like by the time you get the pack again, it might be completely different than what you saw the first time. And I'm gonna get rid of this, I guess.
Oh. Wait, where did that card go?
1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, losing my spike hurts.
I thought it might.
Do you want to play with augments and graft? Or should we still
For this game, I think because we started without it, I think continuing without it makes more sense.
It makes sense, yeah. Then I can't get my spike back. Yeah, because Spike, his ranged ability has augment, so you can play him like an enchantment that gives something ranged. You can bring him back from the discard to give something ranged. So he's pretty cool. I love Spike.
Can I discard one card to get this 2 token?
Yes. That's basically the incentive for like sticking in your lane, because every time you take this 2 token, it's like you drew a card because you spent 1 card to get 2 mana instead of spending 2 cards to get 2 mana.
Yes. I see. Okay. I gotta determine which card I'm good without.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. I want all of these cards. I want them all to myself. But I was silly and greedy, and I wanted more symbol cards last turn so I could blow you out.
It was probably
totally
worth it.
It was definitely worth it. But now I'm 1 turn later.
It is interesting, right? Because essentially by playing a 2 resource land, I got a 2 for 1. And by playing that card, you kind of got a 3 for 1 because you have a big moosh. But
yeah, you know what? I don't need this.
The total value is actually similar.
And then we're done with these packs after this, right?
Yeah, so we'll just put them on the bottom of the draft. So if you hold shift, put them over, they go on the bottom. Okay. In paper, you would like keep them separate, and then once you go through the draft pack, like reshuffle everything. But
gotcha. So now we don't go to main phase first; we go to combat first.
So first we get our resources.
That's right. And I'm going to get rid of the corrupting blight, so I can get one of these 2s.
I will get rid of bellowing boulder for a 2. Now we go to combat, and I believe I have initiative now because you had it last turn.
Yes.
I'm not gonna attack. As surprising as that might be.
Hard to believe. Wow. Well, I'm gonna come in there with Moosh and my creature token. And what's this? This guy's a 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd be able to just eat up the damage from my 2/2. So I'm gonna stack them like that.
Yep, that makes sense.
And I'm coming at you live for 5, 6, 7 damage.
Okay, so you've declared attacks. Do you have any spells or effects before I get to attack?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna block, so I may as well attack you with my hobbled woofer.
I'll take the 1 from your hobbled woofer.
Okay. And I'll take how much?
7.
7? Okay. This game does damage in big chunks, which is kind of necessary because there's no like stumbling in this game. Like in Magic, you can get mana screwed or like color screwed or not draw the right cards.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, like you're always drawing on tempo, especially when you add in grafting and augment. Like you're doing everything with your mana every turn. So a card like Ragavan is just not that good in this game because like everyone's gonna have a 1-drop, everyone's gonna have a 2-drop.
Yeah. I do like how you solve the mana issue that many card games face, where it's like, yeah, I can ramp and get one of these 2s, or I can get these symbols, which are really good early game, but now I have a serious card disadvantage.
Yeah, the 2s was a big innovation. I think there's going to be one more tweak to the mana, because right now there's not a whole lot of incentive to stay monocolored versus like slightly splashing 2 different colors. Like
as you can see, I've got 1 green or 1 ground over here, and that allows me to cast a whole new plethora of spells.
Yeah, and maybe that's fine because the synergy is still like costly or whatever, but it's just something to think about.
I just realized I was so worried about Corrupted Blight, but you literally can't even cast it.
I could if I wanted to.
No, you can't. It costs a green. See?
Yeah, but I could take a green.
Oh, fair.
So that's the other thing. You can pivot really easily in this game.
Okay.
You've got the initiative, my friend.
All right. Which one do I play? I think I want to play this one. So I'm going to play Morung. When this becomes targeted, I make a crystal 2. The little 1 inside of that graph symbol basically means this only happens once per turn.
Thought as much.
So
there's the same thing on Moosh.
Yeah. It's an easy way to balance things. It's how I stop things from going infinite. Because you could just, I guess this card is a 1-card example. And this gets us into the spell tokens, I guess. So Crystal 2 is a spell token.
Yeah, I've been like taking looks at these guys over here as my cards have referenced them.
Yeah, so Crystal 2 is a spell. That's a token, so it's similar to in Magic. When you make a token, it just goes into play. Spell tokens go away at the end of combat. So if you don't use them, they just go away. And they enter the region they're in. So if I was to target Morong, I would get a crystal 2. So 2 is the X value. So it's a spell that puts 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature.
Gotcha. Okay.
And another thing to note, the wording on this isn't updated, but I just yesterday added the ruling that spell tokens have the burst speed instead of quick, which basically means you can play them at any time, but you have to cast all cards of the same type at the same time. So if you had 30 fireballs, you can't just play 1 fireball, another fireball, another fireball. You have to cast all 30 at the same time.
One giant fireball.
Yeah. It's mostly a quality of life thing because all of the really complicated interactions we saw were someone has 20 fireballs and someone has 20 growths. Growth is target creature gets +X.
Yes, I saw that one.
Yeah, so those stacks just took forever to resolve. So now you just do it all at once.
Gotcha. Well, then let's resolve this main phase. So I'm going to go ahead and cast my huge dude. I'm also going to cast my Sprouter. And we'll get a Spewing Mushroom.
Okay, you're going deep. I play the Throwing Boulder too after that, so I draw a card off my Hobbled Woofer.
Throwing Boulder. Allied adjacent creatures gain sacrifice Throwing Boulder. Deal 3 damage to any target. Oh no. That's any target anywhere?
In the region.
Okay.
So the game rules are kind of just implicit in here. If it says any target, it means it's got to be in the region.
Yeah,
you can't throw a boulder to Japan.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was concerned.
All right, next turn. So we get new packs entirely, so you can take 10. I'll just deal it. Well, I'll let you do it. Last time you accidentally drew, so if you go to take.
Take 10.
Yeah.
Here it is. Gotcha.
And then if you flip while they're going, there you go. And then I'll deal 2 cards to each of us. And that's basically the cycle of Algomancy. I think the base game loop is pretty easy.
And then we keep going until eventually my moosh is so big that you just fall over.
Yes, exactly. Until one of us dies.
Okay, now I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a huge dude, and if I were to play something like Squish, which says target creature you control deals damage equal to its mass to target creature.
Yes.
Now, huge dude has the tough attribute, which means that it has their toughness doubled.
Yes.
So for the Squish purposes, would I read that as 4 or would I read that as 8?
You would read that as 8.
Okie dokie.
And importantly of note, tough is an attribute. So just like how ranged...
So it goes to my other dudes.
Yes. So if you put Moosh behind a huge dude or in front, right now Moosh has 4, so it would have 8 toughness.
Oh my god.
That's pretty good.
Every time I realize how big Moosh has gotten, I just feel so proud.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes, I need that card.
I will show this card. I'll just show you this card as an example of things that help balance. I put it in your zone.
Oh, okay.
So it's Bubb. His ability is Unaware. Unaware cards and creatures they are damaging ignore all stat changes.
Oh, so that ignore tough?
It ignores tough, it ignores +1/+1 counters, it ignores -1/-1 counters. So if growing
So
thing,
that's how you get out of this.
yeah, if growing thing had 100 +1/+1 counters on it, I could block and kill it with Bubb.
Bubb seems kind of busted.
Bubb's really good. He's like the most vanilla creature. He's like, play all cards as written. Everyone get off my lawn.
Cards written. There's no fancy stuff happening here. I'm just a cute guy who's got some big claws. Funnily enough, you didn't know this when we started, but I actually have a pet lizard who's been watching me play this entire time. His name is Bubba.
Whoa.
And he looks almost exactly like Bub.
He's a glowing
So
back.
I'm a little freaked out right now. I have my webcam covered, but it's still like, whoa.
It's uncanny.
Yes, it is.
What am I doing? It's weird playing this game without graft and augment. It's better for demonstration for sure. It's just a lot different.
I think I just take these two. Like, it feels bad, but I think I just gotta play a catch-up real quick.
Yeah. I'm scared of like everything.
I'd be great in multiplayer.
So this is here. So that happens. I'm taking these. Which means I have to do that, and I'm not letting you have this super scary card. Alright, that is decided.
Oh, but I want it!
That's there, and then I guess I take this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 cards left in the pack. Alright. Man, the change for pack size staying constant was like the best quality of life change the game ever saw.
Well, only having 2 cards in hand right now feels kind of bad. I couldn't take literally anything out of that pack that was potentially bad.
I mean, on the flip side, you did play like 4 spells last turn.
I do have massive board presence right now.
So there is that. I'm taking 1 earth as a resource.
I'm not going to take any resources this turn.
Okay. And who had the initiative last turn? I think I did, so I think you have it this turn.
Yes, it's my turn.
Bring it on.
I'm going to move to attacks. Let's see here. We got a throwing boulder, a moth rung. Not sure how to totally pronounce that name. And a hobbled woofer.
Yeah, Marung, I just kind of hit a bunch of letters on the keyboard.
Now, you should have actually drawn a card off of throwing boulder from the hobbled woofer.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
That is why I still have 4 cards in hand.
Ooh, that seems pretty good. Hobbled woofer. I've got my eyes on you.
Yeah.
Repeatable card draw? No, sir.
Repeatable card draw is like the key to this game, I think. This game is all about like building up engines, which is more obvious with the graft mechanic. But even now, like there's like quest style cards, I guess, which is
I have a quick question about my sprouter here.
Yes.
Now, does he have to be in the region for which a creature dies in order for it to trigger?
Yes.
Or can he be over in Japan making sapperlings while I've got a war started?
He has to be in the region.
I have to, okay.
Basically, the rule of thumb is, I wrote it here, just literally nothing crosses this line.
What happens in Colorado stays in Colorado.
Exactly. I guess one of these should be Vegas. But the way to think about it is this game's multiplayer, and you...
I was not paying attention, but when Sprouter, the fungus, spewing mushroom, and huge guy entered, growing thing should have been triggering.
Yes, so you get 3 counters on that.
That's my bad.
He's big.
Wasn't he always?
Yes. Yes, he has.
So, yeah, I'm going to go to combat.
Okay.
We're going to bring a bunch of dudes. Let me think about how I want to do this. Okay.
It's not easy.
No, but I think I've got it. So we're gonna have this router with the huge dude and my token.
I should add, you can only go too deep in a vertical stack.
Can only go too deep.
Yeah.
Oh, that messes me up.
I'm sorry. It's
right.
Mostly because people just attack with giant vertical stacks and you literally can't fit it on the board.
That's kind of how I feel when I play Mutate. I have a Mutate commander deck. I actually have 2 of them.
Okay.
Just because I love that mechanic so much. It's just not good at all.
Yeah. Well, you can get some big Mutate-like monsters in Algomancy for sure.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I know. I've noticed. For instance, I think... Is that how I want to do it? Yeah, why not? Let's see what we have on attacks here. I am worried about this throwing boulder being able to just ping anything, and just being able to lightning bolt anything, but I'm kind of just going to take it in stride because
you just got
I've got such a big board presence. And then I think I'm going to keep these guys here.
Okay.
As at-home defending. You know what? Why not? Go big or go home.
Bringing them in. I like it. So the formation stack, these are all horizontally adjacent to.
My spewing mushroom has entered a formation and it will create a poison X, where X is its might. Now, would that include the generic token, or is that just a poison one?
That's just a poison one.
Oh, man.
But
that's all right.
If, for example, it said toughness or mass, and you had it in front of a huge dude, then it would be 2.
And then this conjured spell, does that just chill in my hand?
So it stays in play. It goes away at the end of turn, and you can play it at any time as if it was in your hand, but only in this region.
Gotcha. And I can only use it to put 1 -1/-1 counter on target creature.
Yes. So you can wait until after I block. You can play it
I'm
now.
gonna wait. I'm gonna hold this in my hand, proverbially, and by keeping it on the table.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so huge dude has 8 toughness essentially, and if I kill Sprouter, you get a 1/1 anyway.
Yep.
That's fine. Okay.
And if I get if my make a 1/1, then my growing thing gets bigger.
All right, I'm setting myself up to get maximally blown out here. Or do you have any effects before I can attack or block, I guess is the question.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tap to squish using the huge dude's toughness, your hobbled woofer. I'm just going to sit on him. I sat on your dog.
All right, my dog is dead.
Oh, no.
Goodbye, dead dog.
Eee.
Okay, he got squished. I still think this is okay. So let's see. Growing thing is there. I don't care too much about him. Okay.
Well, hobbled thing died, so I get a 1/1.
Yes. And the way this works is you create the token in the region, but not in your formation. So this group of adjacent creatures is called a formation. So you'll have like a little token that's like off to the side, kind of like what's happening here.
Nah, I was trying to roll it to 1.
You can hit set too. Yeah, so they're just kind of over here. So they're not in the formation, but they're there.
Growing thing will get bigger.
Yes.
And then an enemy creature died in this region, so I actually get a 2/2 creature as well.
Yep.
From the mush.
And growing thing gets bigger again.
Growing thing will get bigger again. You've got an issue.
I do. It's okay.
Good luck.
I'm gonna sacrifice this throwing boulder.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to kill your Spewing Mushroom because I'm scared of that card.
Brilliant. And then I'm going to use this poison counter on your Morung.
Okay. So, you sure you want to do that?
I can't use it otherwise because your throwing boulder's getting sacrificed.
Mm-hmm. All right. So whenever Morung becomes targeted, I get a crystal 2.
Yes, but you can't use it in this combat, and it disappears after combat.
I can use it in this combat.
You can?
Yeah. So you got your poison
That's fine.
in this combat?
That's fine. Go ahead. Make your crystal.
Okay. So I'm going to get a crystal 2.
I thought you said it was created in the area, but not in a formation.
So it's the same way you got your poison, basically. So the creatures are not in the formation. But they're still in the region. So like if you somehow had like a sprouter in here but not in formation, it would still see everything that's happening in this region.
Okay.
So like when you attacked with Spewing Mushroom, you got this poison X.
Yes.
And it's just kind of here. And then at any time in this region you can play it. It's kind of the same with this crystal. It's kind of like it's in my hand, but just in this region.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it.
So I'm going to cast this targeting my Morung.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll get 2 +1/+1 counters.
My Spewing Mushroom is dead.
And it's kind of like Magic 2 where they annihilate, so you just have 1 +1/+1 counter at the end of that.
Okay. So wait, so you used your crystal to put 2 +1/+1 counters on Morung, which is -/-1 counter, so it's actually just ++1 counter.
Yes.
That made sense.
And then the way combat damage works is similar to most games where if something's been blocked and then I sacrifice the boulder, this damage still doesn't get through.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I take 1 damage from all of this.
Yeah, okay.
And you got a bunch of tokens. The 2/2 dies
The 2/2 dies.
in front of Morung.
Oh. Sad violin noises. But you know what? That's okay. We got another 2/2.
Yep. So you have initiative now. Things are getting scary.
No, now you have the initiative.
Well, so you have your main phase.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Primal Progress and draw a card.
Okay. I'm gonna just explain the purpose of this card and kind of how grafting would work if we were playing with it.
Yeah.
So right now this card is 2 cost, draw a card. But if you can see in the bottom left corner, there's this graft symbol, the like hexagon with arrows.
Yeah.
Which means similar to an augment, how you can put creatures on other creatures. Graft works with triggered abilities. So if we look at Sprouter right next to it.
So then I could attach this to Sprouter, so then when the first card dies in a region, I would create a 1/1 and I would get to draw a card.
Yes.
Oh, so this doesn't really have a purpose unless it's grafted.
I mean, it's pretty bad otherwise, but it's fine.
Yeah, it is really bad.
But when it's grafted, this is kind of the heart of Algomancy, is like constructing your card advantage engines through grafts. Because you could build like this crazy thing with Sprouter, Primal Progress, Spewing Mushroom is graftable.
Oh,
like,
God.
You could really go deep. You could put Squish on there. You could, you know.
Oh, and Squish is graftable. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, that's kind of the heart of Algomancy, is like navigating these piles. Because that's basically the late game plan. Because you can see we're kind of stalling out. Well,
yes.
Yeah, but you would be able to like turn around, put these things on Sprouter, and then you're drawing cards. I would be able to resurrect my Hobbled Woofer, start drawing cards and things like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah,
This
I'm gonna
graft augment thing, pretty important.
Yes, you can still play the game perfectly fine without it, but I just like to explain it.
Play the card I just drew.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Are you gonna?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking. I'm gonna play Bubb. I don't want to play that guy.
terrified of Bubb.
His name is literally that guy.
Mm-hmm. And that guy enters combat, create a 3/3 golem in front of it.
That guy's pretty good.
I see, and that's why he has the name.
Yes. Okay, so that's the end of the turn, and we just do it again. I think I'm still losing this, but Bubb is doing some good work.
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm interested.
So I know you saw this card, but this is a very cute card. I like this one Nana here.
Oh, one banana, yeah. It's cute, but like kind of horrifying.
It's really cute from afar, and then you push spacebar on it, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a really insane graft enabler. Oh, I like this. I like this. Oh, there's so much good stuff here. Please tell me this is 10 cards in the pack. No, it's 9. That feels bad. I guess I'll just get rid of this. That's fine. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 5.
That Primal Progress was not very good. I mean, it's usually amazing. It's usually probably one of the best cards in this deck, I would argue, but
I'm gonna be honest. That's the first time I've seen someone cast it, even when playing with graft.
Really?
Yeah.
It seemed ridiculous. You could get some insane things started up with that.
Yes. It is relatively new. I think we've had it for like a week or two. So maybe people just haven't adjusted to it or something.
Whatever. Those guys are losers.
I mean, this game is like, you can play it so many different ways. So the metagame has been
This is also a good card normally, but just not here. I think the trick is just not to cast things from my hand.
To not cast things from your hand?
For right now, just to get cards back into my hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one thing that's pretty easy to do is get, like, pulled into the trap of, like, trying to over-interact with your opponent. And then you just end up with no cards in hand because you spent all that time, like, trying to stop them from doing stuff. So
not as good as I want it to be.
I'm gonna read out these cards for the people watching.
That's good. That's good. And that's good. Okay. I've drafted my cards.
Okay, and I get initiative?
Yes.
Okay. Are you getting any resources?
I'm not gonna get any resources.
Okay. I'm not either. And I get to decide if I want to attack. You have 3 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
If I attack with Bubb, then you can just do stuff. I guess I'm not attacking.
So I can make more things.
Yeah, I'm not attacking.
So you decided you're not attacking. Bubb ignores all stat changes, and all of my dudes kind of rely on stat changes. So I'm just gonna we're gonna call this one an easy round where nothing happens.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Main phase.
Main phase. I'm gonna play a Thundering Beast. I'm gonna play a Sunset Belly.
Trample.
Yeah, Overwhelming is basically trample.
And this guy just makes crystals. I like the little sunset he's got going on.
Yeah.
Oh, on the Sunset Belly.
Yeah.
Huh! Go figure!
A lot of these playtest names was like me going crazy late at night, like, what do I call this?
And then you've got things like growing thing. Huge, dude. I like Moosh. Moosh is great.
Yeah.
And in the spirit of Moosh, I've got the Saprophytic Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a non-token creature dies, create a 1/1 flower creature token.
Yes. They almost look like it's an art continuation, these two.
They do. That's not entirely why I chose them, but it does help. That's what I've got going.
All right, next turn. And this is our last time with these packs, I believe. Deal 2. Yeah, I remember this pack. What are we doing
That's
here?
not good.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, there's some good cards in that pack. I'm gonna hold on to these two.
You know, I guess in this game, this is probably where I want to be. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Nothing. I guess I want to get rid of this.
Ooh.
Do I want to get rid of this? That and that.
Yes.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2 for this guy. 1 for this dude. 3 for this. 2 for that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. That seems pretty good. Seems pretty good.
I'm taking 1 wood resource.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna take any resources again. You are. Combat time. I have the initiative,
Yes.
and it is my turn to decide whether or not something dies and who it should be. And I'm kind of liking this pattern of just throwing things at you, but I'm gonna be honest, Bubb is terrifying. He's really cute, not you. You're adorable.
He is.
This guy.
Bubb is most people's favorite card. In the playtesting, it's my girlfriend's favorite card.
Yep, I can see why.
Yeah.
I can see exactly why. Bubba in the background is overjoyed. Simply overjoyed. Now, the biggest issue here is that Bubb just straight up kills my huge dude.
Yes.
Which is a problem. It also kills everything else on my board. So, I'm not going to initiate any attacks.
All right. I'm going for it.
Okay.
It's time. How am I doing this? Something like this? This is how I'm attacking?
Conjure a crystal.
So I get a crystal 1, and that guy is going to make a 3/3 golem in front of him.
Gotcha. If that guy's already in a formation of 2, then does he not make a golem?
Correct. Yeah, he needs, if you want to make a golem, you need to like leave a space for him.
Okay.
And so, just like last time, I can play this crystal 1 at any time.
And that's just a 1/1 counter wherever you want it, right?
Yes.
So it's a 2/2 on top of the Moron, which is a 1/1. So that's a 2/6, which becomes 4/8. Now, Bubb has overwhelming and unaware.
Yes.
Great.
It's important to mention that overwhelming is a little, it's kind of, what's that card in Magic? They gave a spell trample. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I just see it as trample.
It's like trample, but it's a little bit different because spells can gain that attribute too. And it's not exclusive to like damage in the combat step necessarily.
Wait, no, that's got overwhelming. It just pops over. Is there even a point to blocking, Bubb? Oh no.
Bubb's real big.
Bubb's terrifying. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay. Let's see it.
we're going to put the growing thing, which is currently a 5/6.
Okay.
And and the huge dude. We're gonna put them in front like this.
Okay.
Moosh. This is gonna go here. I think that's how I'm gonna run it. And then I'm just going to take the 5/8 from your thundering Bubb.
Okay, so those are your current blocks? Okay. What do I want to do? So right now huge dude has 8 toughness. And growing thing is just massive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's go for this. Let's try it. I'm gonna play battle.
2 target creatures in the same region deal combat damage to each other.
And I'm gonna have Bubb do combat damage to growing thing.
That would still use Bubb's unaware, correct?
And it would use his overwhelming as well.
And his overwhelming. Interesting.
So he would do 4 damage to you, and he would kill growing thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
On top of the 8 he's already doing to my face?
Yes.
Why? Not good. Not good at all. And growing thing is just a 0/1 in Bub's eyes.
Yes. Bubb sees people for what they are.
That's adorable and terrifying. Be less intimidating. Thank you. Let's see here. I'm going to then tap 1 to cast Symbiosis.
Oh.
Growth X. Where X is the number of creatures I control.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I get a growth 7.
Here you go. I'll make
Thank
the
you.
growth for you. What would you like to
Appreciate
do with the growth? I'll warn you, it does not save anything from Bubb.
No, it doesn't. I am aware of that. Oh, my die. Cool. Saved it. I'm assuming the symbiosis resolves.
Yeah, symbiosis resolves.
Okay, cool.
I'll just tell you I have no
not bad.
counter magic.
Then I just got to give up on the growing thing because there's no way I'm going to be able to save him. So I'm going to use my growth on...
You could make huge dude have like infinite toughness.
Yeah. I'm thinking about putting it on the huge dude, but then that's putting all my eggs in one basket, which historically doesn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have things like battle and Bubb.
Yes. Honestly, either way, is for your first game, you're playing like very well. So
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put the 7+1/+1 counters onto onto huge dude and make him huge dude.
So they're not permanent. It's
No,
temporary.
they're not.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure.
That I am aware of.
Okay. So that
But
goes through.
I will be able to get things done. So, Bubb deals damage to growing thing. Growing thing dies.
Then
I take how much damage?
4 damage.
4? And then trigger on Sprouter, make a 1/1 creature token. Trigger on Saprophytic Oracle, and make a 1/1 flower token.
Yep.
Growing thing doesn't trigger. Sad noises. Sad violin noises.
Okay.
And then we resolve combat.
I'm gonna play a crystal on Morong.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna get a +1 up to 2. And he's being targeted, so I'm going to get another crystal. And I'm just going to play that crystal on Marong to put him up to 4.
Oh, that's pretty good.
He's growing. So your huge
Yep,
dude
that's
survives,
still-
but my Marong also survives.
Your Marong should only have 3 at this point. Oh, no, it's a crystal 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was crystal 1 for some reason. Okay, so your Marong survives.
Huge dude is like infinite toughness, so he survived. He has 22 toughness right now. So someone made a deck in Constructed based on Squish plus Huge Dude plus Overwhelming. Because he would do like 22 damage to my face.
Yeah, and then you just throw balanced on there. I caught a glimpse of the balanced mechanic, and whoa. So I'm actually going to cast another spell after your crystal. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it.
Sure.
I'm going to cast Glimpse the Origin, where all my allied creatures become balanced until the end of the turn.
Oh, yep, that'll do it. So balanced, for those watching, makes the might and mass equal to the greater of the 2. So Huge Dude has 22 mass or toughness and magic symbols. So it's now a 22-22, which is pretty big.
If only I could hit you with that.
Yeah.
I was going to save it until I was hitting you, but I think I'd rather just kill your things.
It's probably better. All right, so we can resolve combat. All of my stuff dies.
Hey,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
my huge dude.
These die.
Excuse me.
You take 8, and this dies.
Huge dude comes back to me. One of your creatures died, so I get a 2/2 creature token.
Mm-hmm. You take 8. I'll put you down to...
And then 2
17.
non-token creatures died as well, so I get 2 more 1/1s.
Yep.
Still sad that I'm not getting growing thing triggers.
Or
That would be
growing
pretty
thing.
sick. Yeah, he was too young for this world. Ugh,
It keeps like taking random things with it when I try and do stuff.
this is my board bin. It's like mostly 1/1 and 2/2 tokens,
Yeah.
but they're my 1/1 and 2/2 tokens.
So we move to post-combat.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you go first.
Grim fungus.
Ooh, okay. Whenever you put one or more counters, -1/-1 counters on something, each opponent loses 1 life.
And it is poisonous.
Yes. Which is like Wither and Magic, kind of. I think I'm dying here, but I'm going to play Crystalline Scavenger, which says allied creatures enters play with a counter on it. Then I'm going to play 1 banana, which enters with a counter.
Each player in this region creates a 1/1 creature.
I'm not going to play this how it's worded. It should be that you can only activate it in combat.
Okay.
So
you can activate it any number of times as long as you pay 2.
Yeah. It's mostly for graft, because you could put like a lightning bolt on it.
Yeah, when I saw it, that's what I thought.
So yeah, I'm only going to do this in combat, because that seems how it should be played.
Okay.
And we get new packs.
Awesome. And we draw 2.
Yep. Deal 2. This game's been going on for a bit.
It has. I'm not good at finishing games. I'm just good at doing cool things. To be honest, you've done more damage to me than I've done to you.
It's okay. I think graft really helps help closing the game out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But as far as learning goes, this is good. I'm gonna stop the recording and then start another one. I just restarted. If the recording goes on for too long, then things happen. I'll give you.
sense.
Did you take your pack, or should I give you one?
I got my pack.
Okay. Ooh.
That seems pretty fun.
Okay. Oh no. You know what? Actually, I'll let you have that. That seems fun.
Why do you say all of these things?
Do I want it actually? do that. Oh, this is pretty good. I should do that. All right. We have a game plan. And I have initiative this turn?
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably...
Can I kill Bubb with -1/-1 counters?
You cannot. Bubb is,
Son of a son. Why is Bubb so powerful?
He is, but he's not. He just sits there, you know? He's much worse when you have graft, because you could just bring back, like... Well, he's pretty good against plant, I guess, specifically. Or the wood faction.
Because these are a bunch of small, weak creatures that rely on stat modifications.
Yes, that's true. Your best bet is to just go wide. Which you're already doing pretty well.
Yeah. I think not super. Whoa. Okay. Not super impressed with this pack, but here you go. Combat time. Your initiative, buddy. What's going on?
You have so many things.
How did all those get there? Oh, right. Things keep dying.
Yeah, let's get in with Bubb and the trampling dude. What could possibly go wrong?
Bubb and the trampling dude. Okay. So these are 1/1s and 2/2s, not 0/0s with counters on them, right?
Yes.
Cool.
The only difference is robots, which enter play with X counters on them. Then in Bubb's eyes, they would be 0/0s.
Okay. Gotcha. And Bubb is just a 5/6.
That's all he is.
He just is. And he's got trample, and I can only block it with stacked 2 creatures, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Here's the plan. That doesn't say quick on it. Brilliant. Okay. Then we're just gonna block it with 2 of the 2/2s.
Okay.
And we're gonna soak up 4 of that damage. And we're gonna take the other 4. We're gonna take the other 4.
Are you attacking me at all?
Oh yeah. That's right. I get to attack you.
Yeah.
Oh, Bubb's over here. Oh.
Yeah.
I see what's happening here. Let's see what you got over here. That guy, Crystalline. That guy enters combat. He gets a 3/3 golem. Gotta be wary of that. Yeah, we're gonna send Moosh with the Grim Fungus behind him. We're also going to send the Sephrophytic Oracle along with my huge dude.
Okay.
Lots of 1/1s.
And Sprouter's staying back. I guess you'll get the trigger in your zone anyway.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to put Sprouter in danger.
Okay. Let the one banana begin. I will give each of us a flower token. Mine enters with a +1/+1 counter on it.
Do I get to use that in this combat?
No, it's just off to the side.
Do you get to use it in this combat?
I do. It's kind of like flashing in defensive creatures in Magic.
Okay.
I will make another flower for each of us. And one more flower for each of us.
Okay.
How am I blocking here? I'm gonna put that guy Like this, 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 this. So, okay, if you have any effects before I go to block, let me know, and then I'll block.
Can I do effects after you block?
Yes, as well.
Go ahead, go for blocks.
Okay, I'm gonna block like this, and that guy's gonna make a 3/3 in front of him.
And that guy's coming after this token here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These are blocks?
Yeah, these are blocks currently.
Cool. I'm going to tap 1 for the floral shield, create a growth 3.
Yep.
And then I'm going to use that growth 3 to grow.
Kill my banana.
My huge dude.
Yeah, so that's 3/4 damage. You'll kill my 1 banana.
That's actually 5 damage here. That kills both your dudes.
Oh, let's do this. Oh, I changed him. Yeah. 3, 4. Okay. So these die. I take.
When a non-token creature dies, that's 2 of them. I create 2 flower tokens.
And I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage.
And when the first enemy creature dies, I make it 2/2.
Oh my gosh.
You've actually just armed me.
I hope you have rampant growth in hand. If you know what it is, then you know what it is. If you don't, then.
Yeah, it's a crater hoof behemoth. That's what I was thinking of earlier.
Yeah.
This guy dies. Sad face.
This guy dies. This guy
This
dies.
guy dies. These guys. Oh no, because they're 2/2s. No, I'll deal with all those later. Lots of things being made and then destroyed.
Yeah.
I literally just redid my whole army. Actually, I think I got more out of that.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
You.
And then in this side,
what's happening over here? These 2 guys are dying.
you take 4 and you get a 1/1.
It's not a flower token, but yes, I do get a 1/1.
Yeah, right now I'm just using flowers to represent 1/1.
And you take 4 damage.
Yes.
For 5, 6.
Yeah,
actually 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I took the damage.
And then I took how much from Bubb? -4, so that's 5, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Post combat, I'm gonna play a trampling treant, and then a sloopy gandler, whatever that name means.
I'm gonna play a towering colossus.
Yes. Okay. He's huge.
Yep. This deals combat damage last, and this creature can be blocked by any number of creatures, and creatures in combat against it get +3/+3.
Yes.
I'm hoping that's enough to deal with Bubb. Just because of Bubb. I hope you know.
That should be enough to deal with Bubb, I think.
God, he's terrifying.
Oh.
There was a thing, and now there's not.
What is happening here?
Whoa! Okay.
I gave you something that's pretty bad for me. I think I'm dying this. Oh, this is pretty good. These are good. I can go with this. And you have initiative.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Your turn to have initiative, my friend.
Is it? I think I just had it. I just gave it back to you.
Oh, okay. So time to go to combat again.
Yes.
The Towering Colossus is coming in with
Just
the
make
huge
it the biggest thing of all time.
the biggest fucking dude. Along with most of my plant tokens.
Okay.
And then
And then like that. Is that is that the setup?
that's the setup.
Okay. So Towering Colossus does not have overwhelming currently.
Nope.
Okay.
It also has sluggish.
Okay. So we're gonna do.
Does have tough though.
He's the biggest. Just the biggest
If
thing.
I have a balanced spell in hand, you're screwed.
I guess I want to block him with one of these. Like this. That'll take the 3.
Are you doing any attacks?
Okay, so yeah, so I haven't blocked yet. If I can go to attacks, I will make some attacks.
Go ahead and declare your attacks. Can I still respond to things over here after you've attacked over here?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, cool.
So there's that. I want to bring this over. Yeah, I'll just attack with Bubb and the overwhelming guy again. So I'll do that. Then I'm going to move to blocks if you'll let me. Otherwise, you can do some stuff.
Declare blockers. I will do so on this side as well.
Okay. Boop. Boop. I have my secret 3/3 generator over here.
Yeah, that guy's pretty good.
He's very good. He doesn't look that good when you read him, but then you're like, wait. As long as I can.
Wait, actually, hold on a minute. Are these blockers?
Mm-hmm.
I have declare blockers on this side too.
Okay.
So after blockers are declared, I'm going to tap 2 to cast Burgeon, and I'm going to double the might by Towering Colossus.
Yep, that'll do it. You're doubling the might?
Overwhelming until the end of combat. I'm doubling the might.
Yep, that will kill me. I do not have a removal spell in hand.
And even if you did, I have a Hush Mush, which counters it.
Yeah, I love Hush Mush. Well played, well
So,
played. So how much damage is
game.
that to me? Mostly I want to see how big this thing is. So this is 3,
the
13.
Towering Colossus is a 2015, a 2030 right now, with overwhelming. And there is that 3 isn't on there because that was a growth spell.
Okay.
And there's a 0-8 in front of him.
Okay, so I'm taking 18 damage.
20 minus 2, 18 damage.
Actually, wait. Towering Colossus gives my thing +3/+3.
Oh wait, no, but then you die from Moosh.
I die from Moosh, but I would not have necessarily died.
You don't die from the Towering Colossus, but you do die from the Moosh.
Yes.
And that was my goal from the very moment I played him.
Well played, well played.
Hard fought.
Yeah.
Bubb did work. So did that guy.
Bubb and that guy. Towering Colossus is, I think, the biggest creature in the game by a large margin.
Yeah, I saw him and I'm like, I think that could kill Bubb.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that can kill Bubb, I promise.
I drew Burgeon and then Hush Mush, I think, was in the pack. And then I just saw those two. I also have Biotoxicity in case that came into play. But that doesn't have Quicken on it, which doesn't make sense to me.
So you play it during your main phase, you get 3 poison, and then you bring those with you into the combat.
Okay. It's just a little too slow. I probably should have gotten rid of this card.
It's kind of like a sorcery spell. The thing that's really just good with it is it's 4 spellcast triggers.
Yes, that's true, and it goes really well with cards that do -1/-1 synergies, which I saw a few of those floating around, especially in the fungus area.
Yes. And the key thing is it has graft. So you could put it on something.
I did love my go wide generation though. I thought that was brilliant. Things would die and I would feel so bad. I would be like, no, I'm losing things. And then all of a sudden it'd be like, oh no, but actually I get to create a thing, create a thing, create a thing, create a thing, create a thing.
Now imagine if you had been able to put this under Moosh.
Oh my god. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is just one of the most powerful cards I can think of.
It is once per turn.
Not even under Moosh, if you just put it under Sprouter. Or no, not Sprouter, Saprophytic Oracle. Just whenever a non-token creature dies.
So you can't put it there?
All of the non-token creatures. No?
Because it doesn't have a graft symbol. So graft, I mean, I have to limit it so the game doesn't break immediately.
Okay.
So graft, you can only graft onto things that have the graft symbol. And Primal Progress is limited to once per turn.
Okay.
So it's best on like Moosh, where if it kills it, you get a 2/2, you draw a card, but you couldn't draw like 15 cards with it.
I will say though, spell that won me the game, this one right here.
Yeah, that one's so good.
Phytochemical Protection just blew you out in the beginning. I had such an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I really only lost that advantage once Bubb came down and he just countered everything I was doing.
Yep. Yeah, this game is built so that both players can go really big, but then you can counter it. Like, you could have like a 5 million power creature, and I just put Bubb in there, and it's like, well, okay. You know?
Yeah, but he also has Overwhelming.
Yeah, but Bubb could still block this Towering Colossus, and even with Burgeon, he would only do 5 damage to me, or 4 damage.
Now, I considered saying that I was going to double the mass of my Towering Colossus just to see how big, because then he would be a 1030, a 1060.
Yes. Yeah. And there's basically a fling in this game that sacrifices, and then you get a fireball equal to the toughness of the sacrificed creature. You can get a 60 power fireball.
Oh, that would have been great. This is really fun. Honestly, if this comes to paper, I might actually pick up a copy for all of my friends.
Thank you. Yeah. And the thing that makes it really sweet is it's like inherently multiplayer.
Yes, I was reading some of the cards and I was like, this is definitely multiplayer oriented.
Yeah, so it works much better in 1v1 than I thought it would. But like you can just sit down with 8 people and do a draft live, and like because the turns are simultaneous, you don't have to wait for everyone else to do stuff.
And because those multiplayer cards are in a draft pack, you don't have to pick them. You can just pass them to the next player if you are in 1v1. So your 1v1 games aren't dead.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you got blown out super early in the match, but you came back. You actually came back. You had a pretty strong strategy going on here for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
You had 3/3 token generation like crazy.
Yeah, I think we would have, without grafting this game, maybe would have stalled out a bit more, but then you had the big finisher. There's a couple just like finisher cards in the game.
See, it was really funny because like I started talking about how I'm not good at finishing games, and then the 10-15 came around and I was like, that feels like that could finish a game.
This card was on top of the deck.
Rampant Growth. Creatures you control become overwhelming and get +2/+2 until the end of combat. Yes.
That's the finisher.
Rampant Growth and what was it, like Overwhelming Splendor or something like that?
Mm-hmm. In a previous game against someone, I had 1 banana and I had grafted Rampant Growth onto it. I'll set it up so you can see it.
So 1 banana says pay 2. Each player gets a 1/1, and then below it, creatures you. Oh my god!
And I limited Rampant Growth to once per turn specifically because of that, because I did like 96 damage in 1 turn from it.
That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. So
I think the one banana is really, really like deceptively powerful.
it might be too strong. The beautiful thing about this game being in like I can
Alpha.
change cards, you know, like you're like, oh, it's too strong. It's like, okay, I can change that. And that's so sweet to be able to do like in a card game. Whereas in Magic, if there's a card problematic, you're just like, well, we're stuck with it.
Yeah, I guess on Arena they have the erratas, but
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know. That kind of feels like cheating. Feels like they should have done more playtesting, to be honest.
Mhm.
But that's exactly what I feel like I would need to do in order to make any like power assumptions here on this table. Is I'd have to play the game more, get a decent grasp of the understanding. I do enjoy how Bubb just completely blows out the green deck.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. I know you're recording.
Oh, sure, no problem.
I was just curious if you guys would be down to run like a multiplayer draft, because I know Shady probably wants to play, but I have an eye appointment here in about 10 minutes that I got to be at down the road, so I won't be available till around 6ish.
Okay.
I'm down. I've got COVID, so I'm home all day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If you let me know a time, I can schedule like an event so people can join.
I'd say 6:30 at the absolute latest.
Which time zone?
EST.
EST, 6:30 EST. Okay. Does that work for you? I guess Lemon, you're sick, so.
I am sitting in my room at home all day long with nothing to do. I would be overjoyed.
Okay, sounds good. I'll schedule it for around 6:30 then.
Oh, also, if you wanna record constructed games, I'm 100% down to do that.
Okay, sweet. I need to go do some stuff, and then I'm trying to record like 1 or 2 per day because it takes a while.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So maybe I'll hit you up tomorrow for recording another game. If we play a 4-player, I might record that.
Cool. I get off work tomorrow around. I should get off at like 5ish.
Okay.
And I 5 EST. I don't know what time zone you're in, but
MST. We're the heathens who don't believe in daylight savings time.
And I'm free Saturday and Sunday. I'm off.
Awesome. All right, sounds good.
All right, well, I'm gonna head out. I'll be back on here in a little bit.
Okay.
Have a good one, man.
See you guys.
See ya.
All right, Lemon, it was great playing with you.
Yeah, it was great playing with you too. I know you said you got stuff to do. Otherwise, I'd invite you to play another one.
Yeah, I'm sure other people. Yeah, Shady probably wants to play another. Yeah. It's great playing with you. I'm gonna end this video here. If people want to play games like this, just join the Discord. There'll be links, and you can play games.
I don't know where any of you guys are in the world, but if you get a chance, take a look at the sunset. It is beautiful.
Not even close to sunsetting around here.
No, not here either.
I just doxed myself.
I know your relative position east-west of me.
So you're central then, right?
That would be correct.
All right, I'm ending the video here. See you all later.